Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to take a look at Mega Camerupt EX. So this deck hasn't really had much in terms of a showing in the Pokégear book website, so I kind of struggled to get this list going. But I have come to a list which is, somewhat workable for this deck. Obviously, you could play the Volcanion and obviously Latias and things like that, but I wanted to go with a bit more of a spicier approach. So before we begin, as per normal, in the description below, there'll be the usual timestamps and everything, where there will also be the deck list to copy in the description below as well. There'll be the deck list, which we're going to go to shortly, the games that we'll play, and the outro and what I think of the deck. So, today we're going to play Mega Camerupt EX. Now, as a Hoenn boy, I have an automatic bias for this card, because, well, it's Camerupt, and, well, I played the remakes of Gen 3, and they were awesome. But obviously, we do have a pretty solid strategy on paper. Roasting Heat for 80 damage is a pretty okay attack, like for 1 fire energy. But if your opponent's active Pokemon is burned, this attack does 160 more damage. We also have Volcanic Meteor for 280, which is also an option. We do play Ignition Energy in this list, just to accommodate for that, where needed anyway. But the whole idea is we want to be using a burn strategy to get the Camerupt's 240 damage for 1 fire energy going. So, like I said, there is the Volcanion option, but I've gone with the Volcarona from Black Bolt, which allows us to discard a basic fire energy card from your hand in order to use his ability. Once during your turn, you may make your opponent's active Pokemon burned. Now, obviously, you could play the Volcanion, which possibly might be the better version of Camerupt, but honestly, I just wanted to play Volcarona. I've always liked Volcarona as a Pokemon. I used to think it was a legendary when I was growing up. It's not, but it's just you can only find one. But yeah, I wanted to play a bit of a different twist to Camerupt. Like, obviously, you can play the Volcanion with the Latias and switches and more stuff like that, but I wanted to play something that was a little bit more unique, so that's why we're playing the Volcarona. Obviously, to buff our burn damage, we are playing a 3/3 line of the Magmortar. Obviously, this lets us put 3 more damage counters on your opponent's burn Pokemon. So already, the burn would be doing 260. If we have 1 Magmortar in play, that's 290. 2 in play is 320. And another one in play is 350. So we do hit pretty hard. That's something to consider. Obviously, we would need 2 of these down to deal with most 320 Pokemon. And of course, against stuff like Mega Lucario, we're going to need 3 of these. Now, I do think there is room for potential damage boosting tools, because obviously we do play Arvens in here. So something like a Vitality, well, not a Vitality Band, a Defiance Band would be not a bad idea in here, but I've not come to that conclusion just yet, because I've not really played this list too much. Obviously, on the Limitless test thingamabob. But honestly, I think this deck could be something to just play for a bit of fun, but I don't think it'll be better anytime soon. So let's go to the deck list and let's have a look. And welcome to the deck list. So as I said, we are going to be playing a Mega Camerupt with a bit of a different strategy. So you can potentially save yourself 2 spaces if you choose to not play the Volcarona line. The only reason why I am is because we're playing a decent number of energy. We're playing 2 vessels to obviously find our energies. So I went with the TM Evo strat, so that way we can go into Magmortars, into Volcaronas. We obviously don't really want to evolve into a Mega Camerupt if we can avoid it, but the option is there. So like I say, we're playing a 3/3 Magmortar line. The Magmar doesn't really matter which one you play, but I'm playing this one for collect to draw a card. And also it has the Steady Firing attack to deal with a Charmed Badoo, should that need arise. The Numel here has the Call for Family attack, which is pretty useful. Obviously, you already know Mega Camerupt's attack, so I'm not going to go into any further about that. I'm playing the Larvesta from Journey Together. It doesn't really matter which one you play, they don't really have great attacks. Will-O-Wisp for 10 doesn't really do anything, but if you do use the Burn from a second Volcarona, you could potentially take a knockout on something that's low HP, but I doubt it. Obviously, you already know what the Volcarona does, because I briefly talked about it, but if you skipped ahead, essentially we discard a basic fire energy from our hand in order to use the ability, and we can leave our opponent's active Pokemon burned. Obviously, we can use this with a fire attachment plus ignition energy should we need to for Fire Wing for 70. Severely doubt we're going to be doing that, but, the option's there. When I'm playing 2 Mega Camerupt, I think running 2 Megas is appropriate, because obviously we're playing a Fez, We can make them go Camerupt, Fez, Camerupt if we can, which wouldn't be a bad idea. So we're playing 4 Arven, 4 Lillies, 2 Iono, 2 Boss, 1 Jacq, and 1 Turo. Again, you could play a Wally's Determination, but again, I can't seem to craft one for some weird reason. I don't know if it's just a bug, but that'll hopefully be fixed soon. 4 Pokégear to obviously keep finding our supporters. 3 Ultra Ball, 2 Earthen Vessel, 2 Night Stretcher, 2 Switch, because obviously we do have some high retreat mons. 1 Nest Ball, 1 Precious Trolley for our ace spec. 1 Energy Retrieval to obviously dig out some energies from the discard pile. 1 Counter Catcher, 2 TM Evo, 1 Air Balloon, 2 Artisan, 7 Basic Fire Energy, and 1 Ignition Energy. Ignition's only really good on the Volcaronas and the Camerupt, but we at least have the option of potentially going even higher with Volcano Meteor. Well, I think it's Volcanic Meteor, how it's been translated into English. Like I said in the previous Lucario video, these will be English cards when they go into the deck list in the description, so don't worry about that. But honestly, this card does have some use, but it's not a meta card. But it's one of the cards that I wanted to look at, purely because, you know, it's from Hoenn, so I have to automatically take a look at it. It's like playing Blaziken decks. But I'm hoping that Camerupt can at least do something today. Obviously, we do have the Ignition Energy to potentially go for a big 280, plus the burns and everything. Could potentially stack up, but hopefully we can do that. So, let's get into some games and see how we do. And welcome to the first game. I'm looking forward to playing this Camerupt list. I've been working on this list for quite a while. I will say, like I said in the main part, is I think the Volcanion build is probably better because you can play 2 of them, play a Latias, so that we have constant free retreat and stuff like that. You could probably play that and then you'd have a space for something else, but I wanted to play something spicy. And well, I love a bit of spice. And that is unfortunately a mulligan. So they're going to know our strategy, but that's fine. But it's not a big deal. But let's see what we can do. There's our Mully. We gave away 2 mulligans. So they know we're playing Camerupt and they know we're playing Precious Trolley. Do we want to start the Magmar or the Larvesta? The Volcarona has 1 retreat, so we're going to start this instead. That's fine, because we can go Earthen Vessel away one of the bosses, grab some energy, Pokégear for Arven potentially. So we have options here, we're not completely out of the woods. There's a Nest Ball, let's see what we're facing. It's a Camerupt Mirror, okay. This ought to be interesting. Obviously we have the advantage because we're going TM Evo. But they're playing the Hot Magma one, which is interesting. I think they've got a very similar build to me. Obviously, they're playing a different Larvesta and a different Numel. I don't like the fact that they're playing this Numel. I don't think it's necessary, but still, let's see what we can do. And yep, he respects the fact we're playing the boy. Let's see what we can do. Grab a couple of fires. I'll do a proper price check when we go to find off of it at Arven. That's not an Arven. That's unfortunate. That's okay though. And we'll Lillie's Determination. Okay, we got another Larvesta, because obviously this one's heavily likely to be going down. We can Ultra Ball away. E-Retrieval and Evolution. We'll grab a Numel. Sorry if you can hear a loud, like, noise flying over. That's a helicopter flying over my house. We love helicopters are flying over our houses, don't we? And yeah, we'll just TM Evo. We'll go for a Larvesta and a Magmar. So we have a Magmortar in hand. I like the fact that someone else had the same idea as me, like going for the big swing with the Magma Surge and everything like that. There's the Camerupt. So they can attach to this Fez and retreat it, which is fine. Honestly, 8 cards is just insane, like, when you think about it. See, look, I respect the hustle. Like, genuinely, I respect it. You know, they don't even have to use the Roasting Heat attack. They can just attack normally without discarding a fire. But obviously, they don't have a... Why are they doing it? You don't need to. Maybe they have data to do, I guess. I don't know. So let's promote the double and see what we can do. Because we won't be able to burn them, that's the only issue. Unless we get something off the top. We need something good off the top. Mega Camerupt Mirror, I was not expecting that this early, but I guess everyone's wanted to play different builds, you know? Let's promote the double, and let's draw for turn. Hope for something good off the top. Pokégear's pretty good. Not when it's that, though. Because now I have to Jacq. I have to grab the Camerupt here, and I have to grab the Magmortar. I could discard off this and burn this anyway, because he won't one-shot us. But hitting him for only 80 feels kind of bad, but at the same time, burning him for 80 also feels kind of bad. Okay, I think we just attach and roasting heat for 80. That feels really bad, but hopefully we can capitalize on it, because he has no Magmortars down. That's something to consider. He has no Magmortars down. So maybe hand disrupts us thinking we have another supporter in hand? Because if we can get another fire off the top, or at least a supporter to find ourselves another fire energy, we could knock out this Camerupt. Obviously, he can get an ignition energy. Oh, he's doing that, is he? Oh, that's bad. So hold on, he'll be doing 280. See, I like the fact that people are using like a similar list to me. So he can do 280. If he's got a fire in hand, he does an extra 20. So that'd be 300 damage with that volcanic meteor. If we top deck ignition, that's good, but I don't think we will. We're kind of dead drawing at the minute. There's the volcanic meteor for 280. You could just discard the ignition. I'd laugh if he misclicks and gets rid of that fire energy, but we need a miracle. That is not a miracle. I don't think we win from here, I'm afraid. So I will just go for a game 2. It was quite an unfortunate start, but, well, every deck starts off somewhere. But, yeah, that did not go great for us. We whiffed quite a bit on both Pokégears and just in general. If we'd have had a basic fire energy off the top there, we could have knocked out that Camerupt, and he would have been in a really bad spot. But hey, that's just how PTCG Live can be sometimes. So it's not the end of the world, but that just proves like how different these decks can be sometimes. Like these decks can just be so, you know, like they'll play differently depending on what happens. But still. Okay, we have a mulligan. Frostlass. Drayton. Could this be Frostlass Monkey Dory? Because if so, that could be an issue actually. We'll take the Mully, definitely. No, it's Mega Absol. That's a problem. Mega Absol is definitely an issue. See, this is a card that I talked about it in the he's playing it with Grimmsnarl? What? That doesn't make no sense, but sure. I think he's just slotted this in because, you know, you can, I guess. Okay, so let's go for an Earthen Vessel. We'll discard the fire. Grab a couple of energies. Let's have a look in the deck. So we prized one Larvesta. We've got one Magma in the active, so that's fine. We've prized one Numel. We've prized our Fez. In fact, no, Fez is there. Ignore me. Prized an Arven. We've got the Lilies in hand, but we're not going to be playing it. Trolley's there. So is Evo. That's fine. We'll play the Arven for Precious Trolley and TM Evo. So we don't actually need that many Magmars or anything like that. But I'm going to grab 2 of these, one Larvesta, and I'm going to grab a second Numel. I'll attach to the Magmar, TM Evo, and we'll Evo. We'll just grab two, well, in fact, we'll grab one of these and one of these. Because we had the Volcaronas in deck. I don't get why he's playing Mega Absol in Marnie's Grimmsnarl. Like, sure, you can obviously manually attach to it, you can obviously e-switch to it, you know, like, there is those options, but, you know, personally, I don't think this is, you know, like, I don't think this is the correct way. That's just my take. Like, you never know. I might cook up a Mega Absol list, but I think playing it with Marnie's Grimmsnarl isn't the correct way. I think just playing it with the... what is it? The Frostlass Munkidori engine, I think it's better. Because then that lets you play Crispin, Psychic Energy, things like that, you know? Like, you have a lot more options. But I guess it's down to personal preference at the end of the day. There's a Shaman, but Shaman does nothing for him. Or me. Because I'm not bench attacking, mate. I'm hoping if I can get the right draw, I can knock out this Absol next turn. And he's just going to leave it in the active. Okay, that's brave. So, let's switch into the Numel. I'll Ultra Ball, Boss, and Pokégear. We'll grab our Camerupt. And Lilies. So we need an energy plus something else. Okay, that's not the worst. Do we have an energy in there? Yes, we do. So we can use the Volcarona now. I think we are... We're 10 damage off this Absol right now. Slightly annoying, but it happens. In fact, no, we're not. I thought it was 10 damage off. I did my maths wrong, but that's okay. In between turns, the burn takes it out. We take 3 prizes. It's just like that. See what I mean? I think Frostlass Munkidori is just a better build because you're not playing any Bravery Charms, mate. I misdid my math. I thought I was only doing I thought I was only doing 270, but I forgot originally burn only it does 2 damage counters. But yeah, that was my fault. Don't blame the player. Blame... Well, I say don't blame the player. Don't blame the deck. Blame me, because I forgot. But, you know, if we can as well, we can potentially go for an E-Retrieval. Or at least we can, you know, go for something else. Like, we can E-Retrieval for 1 energy, but that feels bad. But honestly, I think Camerupt can definitely hit the numbers. It's just, it takes a lot of setup. And like I said, you can play the, what is it? You can play the Volcanion, but obviously that's more vulnerable in a matchup like this. Whereas the Volcarona, they're not necessarily going to go for it. We got our Larvesta off the prizes, which is good. So if they do go for the Volcarona, we can at least do something, but let's see what happens. So there's the Grimmsnarl. So we could, if we get lucky enough, we could go Ignition Energy plus Fire Energy discard and take out that Grimmsnarl. Let's see what happens. Because you can Shadow Bullet, that's fine. Counter Catcher, probably the Volcarona. Yep, that's fine, that's fine. Not a big deal. We can deal with that. If that's the way you're going to play it, then, well, I'll play into what you're playing. The only issue is, of course, I don't play a huge amount of Recover in this list. So let's promote the Camerupt. And let's see what we can do. There's a fire, so we need to bench the Larvesta. We could go for a Jacq and get our Magmortars down, which I think is fine. We have got the second Volcarona in deck, so that's good. Let's do that. We can also attach somewhere. I think attaching here is fine, because we're not using Volcarona at the moment. And, well, I think we just attack with Roasting Heat, because he's not got any Dark Energy on his monkeys, and if we find our what is it, Ignition Energy, we can do something about that. But let's see what happens, because like I say, we're not playing a huge amount of cover in this list. That's the only issue with it. I've got to remember my list. Let me just pull it on my phone, because I don't remember it off the top of my head. Let's see, because my memory is terrible. If you've been around the channel for at least a decent bit, You know that. So, we've got 2 Night Stretchers and 1 E-Retrieval in the list. So, we've already burned a Night Stretcher. So this could get ugly if he keeps playing around our strategy here. We can also set up the Magmortar to attack as a single prize option. There is that option, I guess. But, you know, we can think about it. We don't really want him taking multiple prizes if we can avoid it. And there's the hit. Let's see what we get. Well, there's Night Stretcher. We can get back our Volcarona. Let's evolve it. He has not put down another thingamabob anyway, so we'll grab the E-Retrieval. Then Torrid Scales. So now he's burned. And Lilies. We can bump the stadium at least. I'll attach to the Magmortar as well. And we'll Roasting Heat. Nice and toasty. Take another 2 prizes. Obviously, Energy Devo could be an issue, but we can deal with that. Mega Camerupt is actually doing some work. Obviously, his high retreat cost is something, but we don't need to worry about that. Frostlass, however, could be an issue. But we only need to take 1 prize. It's a bit late to be benching him now, mate. You've overcommitted on your monkeys. We're down to 1 prize. There's an energy. He could go for a Devo, but that doesn't really help him. That's the thing. He could also Corkscrew Punch for 10, which I'll laugh at, but he's doing it. Respect. Going down in style. Good on you, mate. But I'm not going to waste this guy's time. We're just going to draw for turn and go for the Roasting Heat for knockout. We don't need to waste this guy's time. And that's a dub for Mega Camerupt. We'll take it. I'll definitely take that. I'm glad this deck is somewhat working. But obviously we can talk more about it once we get to once we finish the 3rd game. Speaking of 3rd game, let's go to it now. And welcome back. That was a really nice match against Grimstar with Mega Absol. Like I said, I don't think he was playing the correct list. I think, personally, I would play it as a Frostlass Monkey Dory sort of idea. With, like, Hero's Cape as your ace spec, so that way you can buff up the HP, because 280 is not a lot for us to hit through. As we saw with Camerupt there, like, we can just literally do our strategy with 1 Magmortar and knock it out, so, you know, we have these options. And looks like we're going first, which is a problem. Well, we'll deal with it. Okay, what we're facing. Ethan's Typhlosion. This is going to be awkward, because that's a single prize deck. And we are definitely not a single prize deck. We'll grab a Numel. Let's have a quick look at the prizes. So, we've not prized any Magmars, because we've got 2 down at the minute. We prized a Volcarona, we prized a Camerupt, that's fine. Well, no, we haven't prized a Volcarona, it's in hand joke. Arvens and Lilies, that's fine. Yep, E-Retrieval's in there, good. And we prized 3 Fires, that's concerning. Okay, well, we'll gloss over that. We'll just pretend that didn't exist, you know. Obviously, we're a bit late getting our Larvestas down, so that could be an issue. But yeah, our bulk is actually not going to matter in this matchup, because they can just get turboing out 280 potentially. So yeah, that could be an issue. That could definitely be an issue, but we'll play it out, you know. I'm happy to play this out. We do obviously have the Magmortars as a potential single prize option, even though it does take a while to set up. But yeah, this is going to be a difficult one. I really do suspect this is going to be a difficult one. I mean, if we can put early pressure on with Roasting Heat, just attacking normally, doing 80, etc., that could be an option. Okay, that's pretty good. So then I will attach an air balloon to this one, so that way I can save my switch for later. Go into the Numel, and Lilies. We need Camerupt Energy. That is not Camerupt Energy, that is frustrating. Which means I do have to burn my switch. Okay, that's fine though, we can just burn it into the Magmar. That's really frustrating that we whiffed that. We could have put early pressure on if we'd just drawn into a fire, but to be fair, like, we didn't have a huge amount of option there. Like, we've only got 4 fires in deck, and we've only got our ignition, and I don't really want to use that if I don't have to. But yeah, that really sucks. That really does suck. This is definitely not a matchup where we're going to do well in, because like I say, Camerupt is only 340 HP, and they're single prizes. Whiffing that attack there could cost us big. So I'm hoping it kind of doesn't. But, well, this is my luck we're on about here. We could go Arven for Earthen Vessel and a evolution just to thin that out. So how many have they got in the discard? I've got 1 in there so far. Because even with 2 Magmortars down, it's only doing 60. Like, burn damage I'm on about. Yeah, this is not looking good. There's the Typhlosion. They've not got any other Quilava set up, though. That could be our advantage. We could use that. If he attacks for 40, it's not a big deal. Nope, he's got Wreck Andy. That's a problem. Okay, that's just gotten a whole lot worse. Sure, I guess you can do that. Right, that's just got a whole lot more awkward now. So, we can go with the camel now. We can go Arven for a Vessel. We don't need to use Trolley right now. We can thin these Evos out. I probably should have put this Evo down earlier, but it's fine. So then I'll Artisan. Grab another... Actually, no, we can grab another Magmar. It's not a big deal. See, I don't know, like, if this is wise or not. They've got no energy played. I mean, I kind of have to at this point. I don't have much of a choice, and I have to burn this in order to take it out. Get rid of an Ultra Ball. We can afford to lose that. So I'll attach to the camel. Free retreat into the camel. Then Torrid Scales. And this is the most severe overkill Quilava, but we have to do it, unfortunately. Yeah, this is a horrendous matchup for us. There's a fire at least, so we can continue to burn back to back, but yeah, this is not looking good for us. I'm really not happy that we ran into this deck, but well, again, this is the ladder. You don't know what you're going to run into. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy with how Mega Camerupt's done. I mean, it got a win, so that's something, but against a deck like this, there's really not a lot we can do. But hopefully they're bricking, which they seem to be. They seem to be bricking, so I'm crossing my fingers. Nope, there's a Fire Energy. So they have 1 evens in there now, so they're doing 100. 2, so that's 160. You can see what I mean, though. This deck just ramps up damage. It's ridiculous. And when you're playing a 3-prizer, not great. Not great at all. Bonded by to thin. Yeah, we just don't win this at all. We're a 3-prizer against a single prize deck, and we have no single prize attack. I mean, we do, but Searing Flame for 90 takes a while to set up, and we only have limited energy because of our prizes. Super Rod. Yeah, this is not looking good at all. I'll try and play it out, but I don't think we win this. It's really unfortunate we ran into this on the ladder. And Buddy Blast, 170. See, they can even 2-shot us with just 2, which is crazy. There's another Numel. I mean, I'm trying to think, what can I realistically do here? Because I can knock this out, but then they just go bonded by, grab another, knock me out. They take 3, I'm down to 4. Like, I mean, we have to Torrid Scales anyway. So that takes them to 5. I mean, I can just Lillies. Okay, Lillies didn't really help us too much. I can E-Retrieval, get some energy back, and attach one to a Numel, but they're just going to keep chaining evens back to back. Like, there's not much I can do here. So grab those back, attach to the Camel, and Roasting Heat. Yeah, we are not in a favourable matchup at all. This is a horrendous matchup. This is the thing about the Megas, and this is what I was discussing with in another Discord. The meta at the minute isn't suited for these Megas, because there's just too many options for them. There's Recon. Maybe they've prized enough Evens Typhlosions. I don't know, but I doubt it. I mean, they play a 4-4-3 line for crying out loud, Joe. And there's a third one. Maybe they've prized their Typhlosions? No. So yeah, I'm just going to concede. I can't win from here. There's no chance. They're going to take 3, and then bring up another Camel, take out their Typhlosion, rinse and repeat, and it's just not going to end well. But I mean, we got to show off the strategy of the deck, and we got to at least do something with the deck. But yeah, this is definitely not a deck that is going to be meta anytime soon. So what do I think of the deck? Well, like I've just shown there, against a single prize deck that can actually like nearly reach the numbers, especially if it's running Max Belt and Victini, if it's got all 4 in the discard pile, it can one-shot us, and that's a 1-prizer, which, you know, I mean, that's the same for Lucario, but like Lucario can potentially tech in single prize attacking threats like the Hariyama, as shown in that video. But yeah, what do I think of the deck of Mega Camerupt? Well, like I said, I don't think this is the definitive 60 of Camerupt. Personally, I think the Volcanion build with Latias is probably better, but also at the same time, it's worse for your prize map. But the problem is with Volcarona is it's a stage 1, not a basic, so you have to constantly keep them set up. And if you're only playing a 2-2 line, it can be a little bit awkward if your opponent knows how to play around your deck. As we saw with I believe it was the first game. Well, no, it was second game, sorry. But yeah, this is not a deck that, personally, I don't think is going to do too well to start off with. But hopefully if Evens Typhlosion tanks, which I doubt it, because it can deal with these Megas quite comfortably, maybe Camerupt might do something better. Like maybe it won't be meta, but you know, it might be a fun rogue deck or something. But personally, I don't think Mega Camerupt is the way to go. But anyway, I'm going to leave it all to it for today. I really hope you enjoyed seeing Mega Camerupt EX in action, and I'll see you next time.